What's up, everybody? It's Jasmine. Today we're talking about the Iranian teenager Sahar Tabar. Actually, I don't even know if she's still a teenager. It's kind of difficult to get information on her right now because there's a lot of tabloid stuff, and also her Instagram page doesn't seem to be up anymore. There's some, I guess you'd call fan accounts that don't have as many followers, and it's been reported that she had 460,000 followers at least on Instagram. So as far as I know, her actual Instagram account has been removed, possibly by the Iranian government. So she's been arrested, and if you guys don't know what she looks like, these are the types of photos that she posts on Instagram. So obviously it's a very shocking image. And when you read comments online about these images, people are shocked and concerned and asking if it's real and things like that. When I look at it, I can obviously tell that it's fake, that it's a very photoshopped image. She tries to claim that, well, see, this is where it gets confusing, because there are reports that she's undergone 50 surgeries and has lost 40 kgs to achieve the look, and that there is a little bit of makeup, a little bit of Photoshop. But as far as I can tell, it is mostly Photoshop, a little bit of makeup, and obviously I can't comment on the weight loss, but nothing about her body looks real to me. So as far as her being arrested, she's been arrested for blasphemy and I guess charges relating to spreading information or ideas that the government doesn't want her to spread, I guess, is the most simplest way to explain it. When I look at her images, I'm not necessarily concerned about them, because to me, when I look at them, they look so obviously fake and so obviously photoshopped that when I look at them, I see a form of art, a form of self-expression, and so in that way I don't really feel concerned. But what does concern me is that even though she has, in some reports, it's said that she has debunked the theories that she has had multiple surgeries and that she has lost 40 kgs. But in these same reports, she says that although she hasn't had 50 surgeries and she hasn't lost 40 kgs, she has had some surgeries and has lost some weight. And when I hear things like that, that worries me, because it makes it more difficult to say whether or not the images are real and how real they are. So if I was just looking at the images, I would say to myself, this is fake. This is just, it's basically like a painting, really. But then when somebody is going around saying that they did lose weight and saying that they did get surgeries, then it becomes a case where she is trying to give a little sense of reality to the images, and that's when it becomes dangerous. Because if it's all just fantasy, like I look at it and I see a fantasy of a not real image, a piece of art, but then she's coming along and she's trying to give value to it being reality. So then when people come along and they look at these images, the ideas around if it is real or not become clouded, and then people might think to themselves that the images are possible to achieve with surgery and weight loss, and that can be really problematic, and that is dangerous, in my opinion. Do I think that she should be arrested? Absolutely not. It seems like the charges are really ridiculous, but it's not surprising coming from, these sort of countries where they have these morality type of laws, where you can get locked up for things such as this, where you post a photo online and you get arrested for it. I don't think that that's something that should really happen to anyone. But I do think that anybody who partakes in any form of art or any art can be really difficult, because you can be trying to get across a point. Say, for example, when I look at her images, it makes me think that she's making a point about how ridiculous society is today, that people distort their images so much that it's no longer reality. And so when I see that, I kind of feel excited, because I feel like, this is such a strong image. It really highlights how ridiculous today's society is. But then with the connection with her words, it has a conflicting message there, where it seems like she's trying to tell us that these images are real. And so then that makes the whole art idea completely void for me, because then it becomes just another form of propaganda and another form of influencing people to distort their bodies in a negative way. It's not sending a message that this is ridiculous. It's sending a message that I did this, you can do it too. And with art, that is something that you have to be considerate of. Any type of activism that you do, you have to weigh up the pros and the cons of whatever it is that you're going to do. So, for example, Al Gore, when he basically flew around the world warning people about climate change, he was flying a plane everywhere, which is obviously part of the cause of climate change, or at least one of the reasons why we can't or are failing to meet our goals in regards to climate change. But then you have to weigh that up against the fact that him being such a strong speaker and such a big influence, it might be worth it for him to, go flying around the world, which is counterintuitive to the cause. But it might be worth it in order to raise awareness and to influence other people. And so these are the types of pros and cons that you do have to weigh up whenever you're, in art and activism and politics and, in all sorts of ways in everyday life as well. So, if anything, she has to think about what messages she's sending and if it's really worth it. If the way that she's sending the messages is counterintuitive in a way that it completely null and voids the message at all. And I think that the first step that she could take to remedying any harm that she might have created would be to really drive home the reason why she does it, and to make it clear that these images are in no way a representation of real life. I think that it's concerning to see people not sure if it's real or not. That is really concerning, because imagine if you saw this image and you thought that it could possibly be real. I mean, I can't imagine anybody believing that, but I go on to these Instagram fan accounts and people are asking these questions. So as a person who's putting those images out there, you have to ask yourself if it's worth it, and if there's something, a better way that you can go about creating content, creating art, without potentially influencing people in a negative way and having your art misconstrued as potentially promoting a negative, harmful lifestyle, such as losing lots of weight and such as getting lots of surgeries. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Obviously, I don't think that she should be arrested. I think that's ridiculous, but I think that that this news story came up gave me something to talk about, because otherwise I wouldn't have heard about her. So obviously I hope that she does get out of jail and that she's fine and everything like that. But to anybody who's out there making content, making images, making art, doing things, I think that this is an example of where you should be aware of what you might be putting out there and how your words and images can go against potential meanings and things like that. Yeah, but you in no way should be arrested for things like this. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Hey, dog!